Good morning. We're joined by Chris Haverkamp with Paragon Ag here in Silver Lake, Kansas. And today we're going to do our quarterly grain update. Chris, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Summer seems to be kind of the doldrums when it comes to the grain markets. Everything seems to be kind of driven by the U.S. dollar right now, though.
It definitely is, as well as, of course, the summer weather, but the U.S. dollar continues to grind sideways to higher, and as a result, it continues to keep our products competitive, or uncompetitive rather, around the world. We're not seeing much as far as new crop exports for beans, corn, or wheat being on the books at this point of the year. If we don't have weather to talk about, we want to talk about exports, and if we can't talk about exports, the market just continues to grind sideways to lower, especially given perfect weather condition, which is exactly what we have right now.
Well, and during the summer, I spent a lot of time here with you guys, and we've seen kind of some ups and downs. The market will go up, it gives everything back in the next couple of days. Where do you see things kind of going? We do have a crop report coming out next week. How's everything kind of shaking out?
Right. Well, next week's report typically isn't the primary report that we look at for this time of the year. Typically, we have everything kind of on the books, so to speak, and we're just waiting for Mother Nature to finite the final yields out there. But this year, due to the late planting situation, we had the USDA actually step in and say we're going to reevaluate or recount how many acres are out there. So this particular report, next Wednesday on the 12th, it'll be out 11 a.m. We are going to see a lot of significance placed upon this particular report as traders get a much better look at how many acres of corn and or beans we have this year. And as we move forward, that's going to be the watermark, if you will, that we trade against.
And we're talking about weather issues. We look at Iowa and Illinois declaring states of emergency because we've got some areas that are still underwater as far as crop goes. What's that going to play long term as far as the Corn Belt goes? Well,
that is the difficult question. From the road traveling 60 to 70 miles an hour, everything looks very good by and large throughout the entire Corn Belt. But it's not until you actually get in the fields and see the damage or the drowning out spots that we won't know about until harvest occurs. Also, concerns are about nitrogen loss. With all the rainfall that we've seen, it pushes that nitrogen down at an accelerated rate, and it just at the most opportune time, I guess you could say, for when the plant is in that reproductive phase. So if we don't have a good fill process, if there's a lack of nitrogen, we could definitely see yield being affected, but it's not going to be till after harvest that we actually know that. So again, there's going to be a lot of unknowns, some clarity possibly in this upcoming report, at least on acres, but what that yield is actually going to be, we probably won't know about until at least the December, January report.
Well, for the corn guys, it's bad news, but for the cattle guys, it's somewhat good news when it comes to where our corn prices are right now.
Absolutely. We're seeing the cattle guys reaping the rewards. We have ponds that are full, creeks that are running. We have ample feedstuffs. Hay is very plentiful out there. And of course, corn prices now down here at multi-month lows. Not a bad time, though, for the livestock producer to step in and take a look at their break-evens and possibly get some new crop corn on the books just in case we have a late harvest, we have an early frost, and everything starts to build at the optimal time. And if we have all of those problems line up right at the end of the year, that's really a point of no return. We don't get to fix the 15 crop if we don't have everything work out just the way it needs to be going into the final phases of this year's crop.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about old crop corn and old crop beans if you got them on hand. You're watching kansasAGreport. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
We're finishing up today with Chris Haverkamp from Paragon Ag, and we're doing our quarterly grain outlook. So, Chris, again, thanks for joining us this morning. I've got some old crop corn, I've got some old crop beans. Where prices are right now, what should I be thinking about?
Well, at this point, if we're looking at corn specifically, there is carry in the market, meaning the deferred months are carrying a premium to the front end months. And we typically get that kind of a situation usually when we anticipate a large crop and when we have ample supplies, which is the case here definitely for the end of the 14 crop going into the 15 crop. So if you have old crop corn, at this point, you've waited for Mother Nature to give you a weather rally. You had one at the end of June, the first part of July, and now the market's taken that rally away. You have to be in a position to hope that we get some sort of weather problems down the road and possibly get some price appreciation. So with the fact that we actually have carry in the market, it would be our advice to hold on to that corn or at least get some sort of price protection in place so that you could continue to maintain some sense of ownership on paper. Ultimately, there is again a lot unknown about the 15 crop, and that is going to directly affect the value of the 14 crop if you still have any old crop corn on hand. Beans, on the other hand, it is a lot more clear in our opinion. You sell old crop beans because there is a premium to the new crop values. Anywhere from 40 to 60 cents has been the bounce value.